Good afternoon, crafters. Welcome to Carnation Crafts. My name is Hannah Roxbury and I am the brand ambassador for Carnation Crafts, and this afternoon we are bringing you a Facebook show dedicated to the web launch of Lots of Love. So if you're familiar with our brand, you'll know Lots of Love launched just before Christmas. In fact, it was Christmas week over on Create and Craft. Fast forward a couple of weeks and the items are now available directly from Carnation Crafts on our website, carnationcrafts.co.uk. As we always do with these Facebook Lives, what we're going to do is let the stream just run for a little while, make sure it buffers, make sure we're up to speed. Lots of people joining us already. Thanks, guys. So Tina's here, Diane's here as well. We've got Anne and Sonal from Florida. Tracy's here. She says, I'm watching from the car, waiting for the kids to come out. Oh, lovely. Jean's here as well as Christine, Sue and Pam. Lots of hellos, which is lovely. So as we go through, what we're going to do is slightly different to a normal Facebook Live. So this is a Facebook show. It's the first one we've dedicated to a web launch, and essentially what we're trying to do is build a little library for you guys to look back at to give you an overview of the new launches coming to our website, to give you a little look in depth at the dies as well as the samples by our design team, and then at the end of the show we then bring you a demonstration featuring the dies from this collection, in this particular case Lots of Love. A couple of people saying, oh, keep freezing, I'm really sorry about that. And as I say, that's why we let these, that's why I ramble on for a bit, just so the stream can catch up. Lots of hellos, which is really, really lovely. So as we go through, if you've got any questions, obviously this is live and interactive, by all means type them up and I will do my very best to answer as we go. I'm just checking I've got a ruler, which I do. Let me just put that somewhere grabbable. Let's have a little look. Oh, lots of hellos. Elaine's here from a sunny Birmingham. Yeah, it has been a lovely day actually today, hasn't it? A really, really nice sunny winter's day, which is quite nice. So we're here all about Lots of Love. It's this bright, vibrant, wonderful collection featuring 3 different frames, 3 different floral frames, and then all the accompanying dies, which then build a story around those frames. Being the depths of winter, what we wanted to do is bring you a collection that's very bright, that's very bold, that's got lovely colour tones in it, just to brighten up the darker days. Now, Lots of Love, as I say, launches on our website today, carnationcrafts.co.uk. If you're looking for the full collection, the collection code is 211000, so 211000. Type that into the search bar or type in Lots of Love and it will bring up all the dies associated with that collection. But what we're going to do is bring you an overview of those. So let me just press this button, followed by that button, then that button. Ah, there we go. Okay, it's working. So this is the Lots of Love collection in its entirety. It is featuring, as we've said, those 3 floral frames. We then have these accompanying dies, things like the lightworks, which is what we'll go over in the demonstration. We've got the netted bow for adding those finishing touches. We've got hearts, we've got that beautiful hummingbird, and we've got sentiments as well. As a whole, the collection individually is priced at £172.91. So if you were to buy all the items individually, that is the cost of each item together. But as a special offer on our website, we are doing that for £109.99. And please don't forget, we do say it all the time, sign up to our newsletter, because we do give away discounts on the newsletter as well. So if you do have a recent newsletter, look back at the details within that and it will give you a discount code enabling you to access a further 10% off your purchases with us at carnationcrafts.co.uk, which is fabulous. So should we have a little look in depth at some of these dies? Let's start with this one. This is the Delightful Dahlias. Sorry, Delightful Day Lilies. We did that on the show as well. I think it's because the wording's so similar. And what this is your circular die. So as we move through the collection, you see we're kind of ticking all the boxes for your different card shapes. So as you can see from that pink image, what you have is the beautiful floral frame. You've then got your outer mats and layers and also your apertures. So this could be a card blank in its own right, makes for a fantastic easel card design, but quite rightly it could be a topper as well. Now all those lighter pink areas you see are a whole host of decoupage layers. So when we say decoupage, it's building that height, it's taking areas of that detailed die set and adding layers to them to build them up. Really, really pretty. Veronica, I'm very, very sorry. about it freezing. I'm not getting any reports on my screen that it's freezing, so hopefully it is working for most. If you guys could let me know, that would be brilliant. And I'm very sorry that it's freezing for you. As we always do with these Facebook Lives and Facebook shows, we will upload them afterwards so you can watch them back at your leisure as well, which is really good. A couple of people saying they've already got the collection as well, which is fabulous. Elaine, yeah, there's a couple of people saying coming through loud and clear, so it's just a mixed bag. So unfortunately, if you guys are struggling to see, I am very sorry. Let's have a look at that die set in all its glory, because I think it's really important to see how these come together, because it's all very well seeing them in the pinks, but actually seeing them made into a card really brings them to life. This is where you get the decoupage layers. So if I just tilt that a little bit, you can see you've got those layers coming through, the height and dimension. But just take a look at that spectacular colouring. That pink is so lovely and warm, the golden tones with it as well. I know when we launched this with Create and Craft, we mentioned how jewel-like the colours were, your emeralds, your gold, your rubies, and that really does sing through these designs. Now, of course, what we have here are the mats and layers creating this into a card base, and then you've got the ability, if you wanted to cut out the apertures on this side as well. So you've got dynamism on this particular card design. Let's move on to the next. This is the ribbon tail fuchsias. I'm just seeing if I've got design next to me. Oh yeah, this is really interesting. Okay, so just as you've seen with the circular, you can also make card blanks from the mats and layers for the different shaped cards. So here you've got those wonderful fuchsias, those trailing fuchsias, and it has been mounted on the mats and layers to create a card base, and that will stand. So I think it's fun to mix and match your layers as well to give you a different look to your designs. As we move through, you'll see the design team have included other elements on their cards which are all from this same collection. So you've got things like the bountiful berries here, and this really lovely sentiment as well, which is part of the Lots of Love collection too. Next up, let's have a look. This is the last of our floral designs. I haven't got a card for this one. But I can show you just the die cut itself, because we may use this during the Facebook Live demonstration. And this is the pointed poppies. Again, those jewel tones. Again, those rubies, those golds, those emeralds, and a lovely, lovely shape as well. Once again, this comes with your decoupage layers, and once again, this also comes with your mats and layers too. So really nice sort of standing sort of place card kind of design on that card shape. Now, if you're looking at these beautiful colorways and thinking, gosh, that is amazing, how have you achieved those colors? All of the collections that we bring you where you've got colored items are what we call our original colorway vignettes. They are a free download from our website, carnationcrafts.co.uk. You can either type in the collection, type in the code off the back of your packet, and it will come up with the vignettes, so the coloured artwork available for that particular die set. There are other colours available, but we bring you those original colourways as a free download. The additional colourways are there just should you wish to add different colours to your collection. They are purchasable. What we would recommend when you're working with the coloured artwork is always consider printing on what we call our pro printing paper to achieve this very, very detailed quality of design and also detailed quality of colour as well. The pro printing paper is designed so that the ink will sit on the surface of the paper and not bleed through, which means you get this exceptional colour finish. Whenever we're working with the vignettes, download them into Adobe Reader. It's a free to download PDF software reader, and you can then print them in actual size and then lay your dies over the top and cut them out. We do have how-to videos on all of that on our YouTube channel. Now what I'm going to do is just have a little scroll back to make sure I'm not missing any comments. Oh, lots of workings for me. Well, I'm glad it's working for most people. I'm very pleased about that. Thank you guys for letting me know. Let's have a look. Teresa says, I've noticed if I use my HP printer, I have to use PDF. If I use my Epson, I have to use Adobe, and sometimes I still want to go wrong. Any ideas? Well, Teresa, first off, what we always recommend when downloading and using our vignette artwork is to work in Adobe, which is a PDF software. So regardless of the other system you're using to open your PDFs, it will open as PDFs in Adobe anyway. I would recommend having a look at the how-to on our website under the inspirations tabs, and just make sure you're following the guidelines to print actual size or 100% depending on your printer setup. Let's just check I'm not missing else. Teresa said, I did that design and put it on your page with a hummingbird. Yes, we do have a group as well, Carnation Crafters, whereby we upload all, well, I say we upload, we interact, and also you guys are allowed to join and welcome to join and encouraged to join, in fact, because what we do there is share inspiration. So all of you guys upload your designs that you've made, we upload ours, and it's a really, really nice place to see different designs and information. And Mary says, hi Hannah and all the team. I did a design for a friend's birthday card and she loved it. Oh, that's fantastic. Really, really pleased to hear that your friend loved her birthday card, Mary. Okay, so we have a look at some of the other dies within this collection. This is one of my personal favourites. This is the Lots of Love Lightwork design. Now you'll notice the flowers within these. You've just seen them in the frames we've just shown you. So you've got your daylily there. You've got your fuchsias there. You've also got your poppies there as well. I'll show you one way of using these. This is in the aperture of the circular one, the daylilies. And here, just in a little bit of gold, cut from gold card, just catches the light beautifully, just giving you a little bit of texture in the background of that card. Isn't that pretty? Really, really lovely little design. Just breaks up that white space and adds a bit of detailing. Now, these are designed to work with or independently of the vignettes. And if I just grab this one, you can see what I mean. It almost gives you like a little stained glass effect. I'll get into shot, Hannah. There we go. So what Pam has done on her sample here is taken the daylilies one and placed it over the vignette. So it works as an outline and detailing with those little extra tuck-ins there. And it just looks, you know, that sort of faux watercolour technique whereby you heat emboss and then you drop the ink or the watercolour into the wells created by the embossing powder. That just looks delightful and really lovely pared back simple design on the front of that card. Very, very pretty. We also have, you've seen them used in a couple of samples there, the Bountiful Berries. Let me grab this one again because it's a good example of that. Here we are using them as just little tuck-ins. So using them to embellish the frame that's already laid down, it gives you an extra quality dimension. You've got golden berries in here, you've got the white berries in here, and you've got the sort of fuchsia kind of colour berries as well. And again, just adding those layers changes up the style and the look of your bouquets. We also have this one here, Hanging Heart. This is so fun, this one here. Here it is on the same card as the Ribbon Tail Fuchsia. And within that particular die set, you see those little ovals and those little circles at the top of the screen there. They create almost little jump rings. So you can actually attach the Hanging Heart to the woven frame, the wreath frame design, and it hangs free. It gives you a little bit of dimension, gives you a little bit of movement to the front of your card, but again, it's adding these elements of interest that build the look of your card design there as well. On to the netted bow. This is really pretty, and again, I keep surprising myself, I've actually got samples of these next to me. Netted bow. This is lovely. So as you can see from the design there, you've got this lovely open work bow design, which gives a really light and airy finish, which means when you place it on your card, even if you want to place it over the florals and things, it's not going to detract. You're still going to see all of that beautiful colour of the vignette artwork behind because all of these little nets are open. You've also got the choice. So there on the screen, you see it with the long tails for the bow itself. On this one, I've cut away the long tails and then added in the shorter tails, which means it aids perfectly to the styling of your card. If you want a shorter, sort of more compact bow, you can do. If you want something with a longer length, it fits in designs, which is wonderful. Let's have a look at what else we have. This has been a massive favourite along you guys here. Let's see, the Tiny Flutter, this gorgeous dainty little hummingbird. Let me grab a sample so you can see him on all his glory. There we go. Isn't he gorgeous? So again, those jewel tones, those rubies, those golds, those emeralds, and the colour and the detailing on the vignette itself. You know how hummingbirds are almost like metallic, like when the light hits their feathers, it shimmers and shines. You've got that same quality coming across in that artwork as well, which I think is really, really pretty. And of course, being a little hummingbird, it can then interact with the different floral designs. Have it as we have here with the ribbon tail fuchsias, just taking a sup of nectar from one of the fuchsias. You can have it interacting with the daylilies as well. It's such a pretty design. I love that one. Penny says, my favourite hummingbird ever. It's gorgeous, isn't it? And what else do we have? Our final design here, the sentiments, of course, the lots of love sentiments here. We have get well soon and lots of love. Two really important sentiments to have within your collection, for you never know when you might need them. But again, in beautiful designs, beautiful script, beautiful styling. So here we have the lots of love. Again, cut from that beautiful gold finish, perfect finish cardstock, and mounted on white, white on white, just to give it a lovely backdrop as well. Lots and lots of love, a mixture between that typeface font and of course then that script as well. And then the get well soon we've used in the centre of this card, cut from the perfect papers for this collection. Again, those have launched today on the website as well. But again, very, very lovely styling and just so simple to place on the front of your card. So that gives you a really nice overview of the dies included within the Lots of Love collection. So as I say, the code for it, if you are searching for it on our website, is 211000. It is priced, if you've added it all up individually, at £172.91, but of course, being a bundle discount, if you brought them all together at the special rate, it's £109.99. As I've mentioned, please do check your newsletters for your 10% discount code, and don't forget to enter that when you check out as well. Linda says, beautiful samples, lots of inspiration. I love them. Thank you, Linda. Yeah, the DT have made a beautiful job on these samples, and I hope I'll be able to do it justice as we move on to our demonstrations. Let me just click there. Excellent, there we go. Right, we're going to build, as you can see, I've just laid out a whole host of little die cuts from the Lots of Love collection in front of me, and I think I'm going to work on an 8x8 card base. Obviously, I get a lot of questions about, why do you design on that size and things like that. It's just a personal preference. 8x8 seems to be a card shape, a card size that in the UK is very popular. But of course, if you're over in the States, all you need to do is adapt these designs to something more suitable for your card sizes as well. So you do have options there, though obviously we do a very generous angel policy where you can copy this like for like and then sell it on. As long as you've cut the dies out with our die cuts, you're more than welcome to do that. What I would recommend is just having play. Take inspiration from these demonstrations and make them your own. So here we're using a combination of those pinks and those beautiful sort of gold tones from the perfect papers within the Lots of Love collection to create our mats and layers. So we've taken our 8x8 card blank. I'll move that up a bit so it's more central. And onto that, we're working with what we call our mats and layers. So these are our framing devices. Mats and layers frame the centre of the card. They also draw the eye down to the centre of the design as well. I'm sticking these layers on using finger lift tape. And for each side, all we're doing is taking the carrier sheet of the tape, folding it over the edge of the card and creating like a little tab, like a little pull tab, which is going to allow us to position these mats and layers perfectly in just a moment. Once we've done that, we can align so we've got an even border all the way around our mats and layers. Hold in place, and using those tabs we've just created, we can peel them away and then smooth that tape down into place. It just allows us a nice alignment. It makes sure everything is nice and perfect. Okay, that's going to create our backdrop. Onto this, we can then go in with our next layer in the same fashion, taking the carrier sheet of the tape and folding it over the edge to create a tab. And when I flip this over, you'll see this is actually another one of the free to download backing papers available from our website, carnationcrafts.co.uk. What we try and bring you with most of the collection launches is a whole host of backing papers that complement your collection. So again, it gives you more craftability, it gives you more designs to go with, like so. So that one, we're taking in the pink elements. It's got a little bit of text in the background, a few of these sort of trailing leaves and things from, there you go, the fuchsia. So you can see how everything then ties in. Dorothy says, hi Hannah and team, not picking you up at present, blank. At present, had a couple of minutes, then blank, never mind, hope to catch up later. Dorothy, I'm not sure on that one, perhaps come out of Facebook and then go back into it. We've had mixed reports on how this is working, so it might just be a little glitch. Try going out, come back in, but as I say, we always do upload these afterwards for you to watch back at any time. Linda says, did you plan the colour of your nails to match this set? It's perfect colour for colour. No, Linda, I didn't actually. Simon actually chose this colour. I couldn't choose what colour to paint my nails today, so Simon chose it. Teresa says, and what do you print your backing papers on? Exactly the same, Teresa, as what I print my vignette artwork on. I choose to print mine on our Pro printing paper. For backing papers, what I normally print on is 170 GSM or usually 220, so heavier weights, which means it gives you a little bit of a sturdier background there. And again, just as I do with the vignettes, I select from Adobe on my print settings, high quality print finish, and also matte photo paper. I've seen quite a lot of discussion in group, you know, my printer won't take Pro printing paper and things like that. It's worth checking your print settings as to the type of print paper you are using, because quite often the printer needs to be told what it's printing on. So if you are working on a Pro printing paper, I always select a matte photo paper, because that's essentially giving the printer the idea of how thick the paper is to hold and what kind of finish it includes as well. I'm not going to go ahead and stick down this layer just yet. I'm going to place it first off. But once again, what I've done is taken the mattes and layers. I've gone in with that hot pink from that border. So you're drawing in the same colours as what we've used in the mattes and layers. And then we're using a perfect blush, one of our white cardstocks with a hint of colour, and this is the Rose. So this is perfect blush in a hint of pink. So it's a white cardstock, but it has a hint of colour, which means when you're working with different colour themes, it can blend into the background. It keeps the tones as per your design. So here, perfect blush in the Rose, because we're working on a pink design, it works in beautifully. Having that negative white space behind that beautiful backdrop does mean the colours really pop. If I show you the die cut straight onto the pink, yes, it looks lovely, and yes, you could absolutely use it as such. But if you want to make those colours pop, it's well worth going for our perfect blush ranges just to make those colours sing and stand out a little from the background. I am going to stick the mattes and layers together just so I've got that done. And the mattes and layers for this particular topper, I'm sticking using 1mm foam tape. And to align, I'm just looking for an obvious area. So this little notch here, if you like, then matches up with that little notch there. And just as we've seen with the mattes and layers in the background, we're going in and aligning that perfectly, okay? Now I have got foam all the way around. You could use foam pads if you prefer. I'm not going to worry about removing the carrier sheet from the middle foam there. That's just there as support that holds up the middle of the design, just making sure to stick the outside. Okay, once again, just checking for placement like so. Okay, now really you could just add a sentiment to this and be done. It would look so beautiful, but because we're trying to give you inspiration, because we're trying to give you lots of different ideas, we're going to start layering. We're going to bring in the different designs. Let's just grab a few of the light work. So what I've done here is cut the light work, so there's lots of light works, those outline designs from both fuchsia, again drawing in with this design here, and also the white. Now it might be that I choose to include a few just in the background, just to add a little bit more texture to the design like so. You see how you're breaking up all of that expanse and adding in layers? And perhaps we could bring in a few of your poppies down the bottom as well. I think that looks really pretty. We might go with that. We might save that. But what we want to do is build up the decoupage layers on these lilies here. Now what I haven't done, normally you see me on air with the decoupage layers pretty much most of the time already stuck. But again, I wanted to bring you something a bit different in this video, and I wanted to show you how we can layer those up. So I've grabbed our foam mat and our ball tools in various sizes. I'm not going to shape the background, I'm just going to shape the decoupage layers. So I'm going to flip them all over onto their reverse. And we're going to ball out from the back to the front. And you notice how when I'm flipping these over, these all have the same artwork on the back as what they do on the front. It's because I'm working with what we call our mirrored vignettes. They're designed with that idea in mind. So if you're working on acetate, or if you're working on sort of over the edge cards, if you do see the white areas, they're not going to be white, they're going to be coloured. Which means they're not going to distract or anything like that. It also means when you're using sort of balling out techniques like we're doing here, you can add a lot of shape and dimension, because if you view the card from the side, no white bits to distract. I think that's so important when it comes to the finish of your card. So what we're doing here is running that ball tool along the petals, just picking up the design detail, just swapping between sizes of ball tool to really hone those petals in. Final one here, just rounding those petals off. Now, before we stick, we're going to flip them all over, because at the moment they're curved one way, but I kind of want to give an undulation to these petals, just like so. And then use my ball tool just in the centre, and see how it brings those petals up. I'm going to do the same thing for each one, just little circular movements in the centres, to dip that centre down and bring those petals up. I'm going to move those all in one. Just pop those there for the minute. I'm going to begin sticking once I've got my placement for my topper done and I'm happy with it. Okay, yeah, I think we're good there. Move that out of the way for a second. To stick my Lightworks to my background, I'm going to use my everyday glue, super clear everyday glue. Just going to squidge out a little bit into my tray of my multimedia mat. Teresa's just said, and your mat you're working on is great, but my husband uses it for his artwork. Yeah, it is a fabulous design, and quite right. I mean, your husband has got the right idea. It is ideal for things like your watercolour artwork and things like that. It's a silicone-based mat, so it's non-slip. It's got that sort of well to the centre, which is really handy if you're trying to align your cards and things like that. Great for stamping techniques as well, wipes clean, and also it's this matte white finish. So if you are doing filming, you are doing photography and things like that, it's going to create the perfect backdrop for your designs as well. Now I'm just sticking the Lightworks in place. Oh, that one just getting away from me there. Using a little bit of everyday glue. I'm using my glue applicator because obviously we're working with nice fine die cuts there, but just holding those to stick like so. Oops, excuse me. Just checking the positioning of my topper before we commit to stick. Move you out the way, making sure that's nice and central. And again, we're working with foam tape to stick that layer. Like so. Again, I'm not worrying about taking the tape carrier sheet off all the sides of the tape, just enough so it sticks in place like so. Now we can go in and add our topper element. I'm going to stick this using Pinflair glue gel. It is my personal choice, my favourite when it comes to three-dimensional glue. Gives you a little bit of height. The syringe application that makes sure it's nice and precise as well. It dries clear and it dries and keeps its height, okay? So when you're adding height, when you're thinking about all those sort of balling out we've just done of those flowers, for example, it's going to keep that shape. We're just going to nestle the lilies into place and just stick. I'm not going to squidge them down. I want that height. I want that shadowing behind the florals there. And then with the decoupage layers, you just watch me mould and shape a little bit of Pinflair to the back, and we can go in and place and stick. So when I'm working with decoupage layers, I do tend to revert back to tweezers, anything a little bit fiddly, just so I've got a little bit more control over what we're working with. A little bit more Pinflair, just the centre. Notice I don't use much, it's just in those areas where I want that connection between the layers. The rest of the layers are then left free, again creating that movement to the front of your cards. Tanya says, hello gorgeous. She says, just got in from a walk with my residents. Adore this collection. My son even said how beautiful they are, and he's a 17-year-old lad. Ah, there you go. See, I think it's the colour, don't you? I think it's this vibrancy of the detailing on those vignettes, that free to download coloured artwork, which just brings this collection to life. Again, just placing those decoupage layers. Decoupage layers are fairly easy to follow, to line up and to detail. Just using your tweezers there. I might put a little dab of glue on each of the petals here, just because that centre now is a little bit small for glue. But you're just finding the appropriate area. It's a little bit like a puzzle, isn't it? Mixing up the layers there. Just like so. And then just adjusting them into place. Final little floral here. Again, using that three-dimensional glue just on the back and then aligning with the layer underneath. Then we're having the pin flare means you've got a little bit of wiggle room as well, so you can adjust as you go. But taking the time to mould and shape and then layer up your petals and your decoupage layers just really brings this card design to life. We don't want any glue overhanging the edge. And then just dropping that down. Tweezers need a little bit of a clean, they're a little bit sticky, so they're hanging on to the layers. Okay. Just like so. So that's where your decoupage layers in place. So if you are using your dimensional glue, as I say, don't squidge them down. Let the height stay on the card design like so, and then let it dry. So if you're working on a card, let it dry for 24 hours before you pop it in the post, and it will dry hard and keep that height to your design, which is perfect. Now again, at this stage, this could be more than enough. This would look beautiful as a card, again with a little signature, a little sentiment, should I say, to pop that in a post. But again, I want to bring you more designs. I want to try and use a lot of these pretty florals from this collection to tie in and add to the design. So I've got a few of these little poppies and things like that. I'm thinking I might snip into them and add them in, tuck them in around the frame itself, because of course with Carnation you don't have to use everything as is. You are more than welcome to snip in to areas as well. So I'm just going to snip away a few little elements and details like so, to add in a little bit more detailing. Just using my scissors to follow the cut line details that are already in place and to release some of these little florals. Same with this little side here. I think I'm going to snip away here and here. The great thing about this is you can download and print the vignettes as many times as you like. What that means is if you snip into something and think, oh goodness, that's not what I wanted, perhaps that's not quite working for my design, doesn't matter. Pop it in your box for another day, print it off again, lay your dies over the top and print again, okay? So it gives you options and ways you can work whereby it gives you a little bit more control over how you want these to look. But also it takes that fear element away, doesn't it? You're not having to worry about, oh goodness, I've used the last piece in the pack, or, you know, it just gives you the option then, should you wish. So a few little poppies around this side. I think I'm going to go in, do I want another one? Do I want another one? This is a nice thing about when it's creating it for itself. You have the options here. This one I might snip down, rather than having this long line one at the top, which doesn't quite work as I had envisaged. Just snip that one away. Now you've got more of a little tuck in on the edge, so you're keeping it more controlled around the side there. And I think, should we go in with some of, yeah, let's go in with some of these now. See, it's quite an organic process when it comes to designing and creating and working with the vignettes. Once you start snipping into them, it's a whole world of possibility for different looks. Again, anywhere where I've snipped through, just neatening up the layers there and trimming things down. But these could act as little fillers between the poppies I like the fact they've got little leaves on. I think that lends itself well. Let's have another one. Again, this is the ribbon tail fuchsias. Oops, I've got a little bit there. Snip, snip, snip. Am I using my sticky scissors? Yes, I thought I was. I've got sticky scissors and paper scissors. I thought, well, these scissors keep sticking to my flowers, and that's because I was using my sticky scissors. I do try and keep them separate. Okay, just trimming those round. Oops. And again, just squidge that. See where you've got the pin flare? It's making a little escape because I knocked it. Yeah, I think that looks nice. I like the fact that you're kind of building up this area off one side of the design there. I will build up, just for balance, a little area up here as well, but I'm just going to see how the design works out before I start adding even more to it. But I am going to get those stuck in place, so I'm just blowing the little bits up out of the way. So once I'm happy with placement, look for the pin flare, Hannah. Where are you? There. I'm just going to go in with a little bit of pin flare behind areas, just anchor. Now you see here with these poppies and things, I'm covering up a lot of that light work. That doesn't matter. The light work is just there to break up the textures in the background. And of course it does mean you've then got options to add further layers should you wish to. Now these have already been decoupaged, these have already been sculpted out, so I'm not going to be too worried about how these go on. I'm just tucking parts of the leaves, parts of the flowers underneath the frame. Remember that frame's mounted, oops, on foam tape to allow you to do that. That little edge is annoying me. I haven't rounded off that flower properly. There we go, that's a bit better. And sticking like so. It is also a nice idea, wherever you're sticking elements, obviously contain them within the actual size of the card, but do consider coming in and letting those florals and things flow over the edge of your mats and layers. It draws those elements together and it just gives you a link between the different layers there as well. Now we did mention this top corner needs a little something. What would it like, do you think? Probably be more poppies. Probably another poppy. Probably a poppy, but I think we'll wait. I'm going to have that there just as a little bit of inspiration, and then we'll wait on that. We do also have these gorgeous bountiful berries. It comes with these golden sort of berries, these little leaf tuck-ins, these sort of more fuchsia ones, and these little white ones as well. I'm not going to use them as their entirety, but I am going to snip into them and just add them in because I think they're going to add a little bit of detailing quite nicely. But again, being quite brutal with how far I snip these down really, because again, as we've said, you can go in and print them again and use them as how you wish. I just want them smaller tuck-ins, so I'm really trimming these down quite spectacularly actually. Just making a little pile next to me, which I can then work with. 1, 2. Just checking I'm not missing any questions. Shirley says that's what I do. Always best to keep the scissors separate. Yeah, having my sticky scissors and my paper scissors. I do try and keep them separate, but you know what it's like when you're in the throes of cutting and trimming and designing, you get a bit carried away, don't you? Shirley also says, love the vibrancy of the colours, so cheerful. Yeah, do you know what? It really does make you smile, doesn't it? It's a very happy collection, this one, and I think it lends itself well, especially when you look at the sentiments like get well soon. It's nice to send something that's a little bit more cheerful if you're sending a get well message. It just puts a smile on someone's face, doesn't it, when they're receiving them there. Again, same thing with the berries. I'm just snipping away at the stems here like so. I've got a little pile ready to go. I'm still trying to decide on what I'm going to do on that top corner there. I'm not too worried about it. I might add in something completely different. Who knows? This is the beauty with card making. It just comes together when it does, really. Monique says, hello from the Netherlands. Lovely card. Thank you, Monique. That's very kind of you. Okay, so berries. That's looking good there. Let's add in perhaps some of this one. I have no which way this goes up now because I've snipped it, but I don't suppose it really matters. What about some golden ones? quite like the golden ones. Again, coming across the different elements, coming across the different florals here makes for a nice look to your card designs. And notice how I'm just tucking them. Again, these are just tucking into elements of pin flare, so I'm not going to be too fussy about sticking them in place just yet. Once I've decided, I will. A few more little golden ones, just like so. I'm kind of working in this sort of bountiful theme whereby this is all coming out of this particular section, like so. And just looking at anywhere where I could do with filling a few gaps. Still not happy with that. It's amazing how our brains work, how we come to put things together. And you could sit for hours, couldn't you, really, and think about how you want things to sit and tuck in and all sorts, but it really is just quite an organic process. Just taking up elements which I know are going to need to be stuck. And sticking those in place nicely. And again, having the double-sided vignettes does really lend itself well to having these in different positions as well. Okay, I'm going to leave the tuck-ins for the minute. I'm still deciding on that particular edge up there, but I am keen to get our little characters in. So here we have Hummingbird, just gorgeous in those jewel tones. Once again, let's ball out his tummy. Let's give him a little bit of height. I cut 2 because I might end up adding in more height with the wing. That might solve my problem with that side of the card, who knows. But again, using the larger size ball tool on his head and tummy, and then coming out in general on the wings and the tail. We can then go in and be far more specific on the feathers of the tail by using our smaller ball tools. Just like so. I'm going to just tweak him back into place. He is going to be flittering down into this area here for a little sup of his nectar. So let's go ahead and glue him, because that might make me make a commitment about that top corner. And I think I will bring in perhaps a die cut for the wing as well. I might just layer it up 2-fold. I might do that actually. Again, just rounding that off. Just coming in with the smaller, down the length of the feathers. And then let's just curve that wing quite dramatically up and around. Obviously, if you're sending this in the post, be mindful about the level of layers you're adding, but do consider, we launched, didn't we, the multi-box die last week, the week before, sorry. And that would be a nice way of gifting your cards in a nice box design. Just layering up my hummingbird there. Let's give him a little bit more prominence. Do you know what might solve this top corner issue? Netted bow. Let's go in. There's always something within a collection. There's always something. So here, as we mentioned, you've got your netted bow. I don't want anything too heavy because I've gone quite a long line of design on one side. So I'm going to trim away the tails, the longer tails on that bow. Like so. I'm going to give that a little bit of shape. Remember, we're working with those mirrored vignettes, so the back is just as beautifully coloured. And that bow, considering that, there we go. See? Yeah, there was something I could add in here. And then let's go in just with the shorter length little tails as well. Shelley says, gorgeous hummingbirds. The artwork is phenomenal, isn't it? I just love the lifelike quality of it. I love the look of the jewel elements on his wings. I just think they're so pretty. The colours are spectacular for our hummingbird there. Just gonna try and place our bow. A little bit of pin flare for the netted bow itself, and then once we align the tails, they can just sit under the bow quite happily as well. Come in a little bit netted bow. I'm using a little bit of everyday glue on the tops, just tucked in like so. That's looking quite smart, just adjusting that so it sits as desired there. Adjusting our little hummingbird so he sits pretty. Come on, little hummingbird. There. Liking that. Let's just see. Got bits of pink there everywhere. Let's just see if I need to break up some of that colouring with a few little white tuck-ins. I think so. You see how at the moment you've got quite a lot of colour going on, but you're obviously then drawn to this negative area. I say negative, not negative as in bad, but negative as in absent, you know. And I think it would be nice to mirror that with the same colouring just sporadically through. So let's take a few cuts of the light work, just a couple, and you'll see how it redefines the colour laid down behind it. Do you see it? It gives you a little bit of pause, it gives you a little bit of breath between those elements, which I think works so well. Same again, just snipping away a little bit. And tucking, not over the top, not too dramatic, just a little tiny little tuck in there, just to break up that expanse of colour. A little bit of everyday glue, lifting, oops, I could just throw it at my designer, how about that? Lifting and tucking. And then same with that one. Just layering those details up. And I think that just works so well to give you a little point of contrast between what we're working with. And actually, you know what, I'm quite happy with how that looks. I think that looks a lot of fun. You could obviously add more if you wanted to. You could add a little sentiment too, but I think for me, I'm going to say that's done. Let me just turn that camera around and show you from the front as well. So that's a card we've created during the Lots of Love web launch show. Remember, the Lots of Love collection has launched today on carnationcrafts.co.uk. Head on to our website, type in Lots of Love in the search bar. It will bring up the die collection if you're looking for the bundle collection. Specifically, the code is 211000. And it just comes together so beautifully. Obviously, because this is a Facebook show, we're trying to bring you lots and lots of elements, lots and lots of ideas. You compare this back as you saw at each stage. You could stop, add a sentiment, and you would be good to go. Really design it around how you want it to look. Once you get these dies home, they are yours to play with. Don't forget to upload your designs to our Facebook group, Carnation Crafters. Looking forward to seeing them. We will be back. Goodness me, we've got a busy week. So tomorrow, at 11 o'clock GMT in the morning, we have got the show preview for Delivered in Style, our next die launch with Create and Craft. That launches tomorrow afternoon at 3:45. It's a double show launch with myself and Dan. So tomorrow morning in the show preview, I'll be bringing you a sneak peek ahead of the show launch. We then have Carla on Wednesday and Thursday with the Delivered in Style collection, and then I will be back on Friday morning at 11 with another Facebook tutorial featuring the wreath card from the Full of Love collection and also the Vernal Blooms wreath. And then I will be back at 5:15 in the evening on Create and Craft with Delivered in Style, final show of. Carla will be then taking over from me at 6 o'clock with the launch of our new USB as well. So lots and lots and lots of designs coming your way. Let's just have a little quick through of the, make sure I'm not missing any questions. Audrey says, beautiful, just starting my Carnation Crafts journey and purchasing my first bundle printer and paper. Oh, fantastic, Audrey, we'll enjoy that. Don't forget to look for the inspiration on our Facebook group, Carnation Crafts. There's a huge bunch of wonderful, friendly people who will guide you through your journey as well. Colleen says, how could a person from US purchase Carnation Crafts bundle? Head on to our website, Colleen. We ship internationally from our website. You can find the details for shipping information on our page there, and you're quite right, Jane. I did say Delivered in Style, didn't I? I'm so sorry. Just passing by launches tomorrow. Thank you, Jane, for correcting me. It's been a long weekend. yes, and a long week ahead, which is wonderful. Thank you. Sarah, yes, so international delivery from there all over the world. Just head onto our website and you can purchase as normal through there. The team in the warehouse are primed, ready to pick and pack and send that out to you guys. Sarah says, I absolutely love it, Hannah. I've only just started using Carnation crafts and I've fallen head over heels for them. Brilliant. Thank you, Sarah. It's really, really great. Lots and lots to look forward to. Yes, Shirley, there's a huge amount to look forward to. Wendy says, what's on the new USB? I'm just trying to think, Wendy. Bundles of Joy, I know for sure is on there. But the other one's maybe Tuna for the Show. And that's a bit of a vague answer, but I'm not doing the show, so it's hard for me to remember. Leanne Morrison says, can you add the pictures of the cards you've shown today, please? Lovely demo. Leanne, the cards that I showed originally are all DT samples, so head on to our website, the inspiration pages. There's a gallery of different designs there. I won't unfortunately have time to take photos of all the cards and then upload them onto there, but there's already cards on there for you to have a look back at, and I will of course take a picture of the demonstration card for you as well. Tanya says Crafty Little Things are on the USB. You are right, Tanya, they are. Crafty Little Things, Bundles of Joy, and there's a third one. And Equinox Blooms, there we go. I don't even know where that came from, but I remembered it. Early answers to the Facebook page. I can, as I say, I unfortunately I don't have time. I'm so sorry to take photos of every single card I've shown today. But if you look on our website on carnationcrafts.co.uk, you head to the inspiration tab and click on the gallery for Lots of Love. There's lots of cards already uploaded there for you to take a look at. Hopefully that will keep you busy for a little while. So to answer the question, the USB contains Crafty Little Things, Bundles of Joy and Equinox Blooms, and that will be launching on Friday night with Carla. Just Passing By, apologies, I did give you the wrong name. Just Passing By launches tomorrow on Create and Craft at 3:45. I will be back on our Facebook page, Carnation Crafts, tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock with a show preview, so do tune in for that. And until next time, stay safe everyone, and I shall see you very soon. Take care. Bye bye.